A new dinosaur was discovered in Australia. Hi there, I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English skills with lessons about current events and trending topics. JR is the producer, and he has uploaded the full and complete lesson to plainenglish.com/376. That's where you'll find the full lesson transcript, how-to video, translations, and much more. Coming up today, the biggest animal ever to roam Australia's outback is the Australotitan cooperensis. If you've never heard of this dinosaur before, that's because it's brand new. Well, new to us, that is. A team of scientists published the newly discovered dinosaur's official name and description after discovering its bones in 2007. In today's lesson, you'll meet the newest addition to the catalog of dinosaurs that once roamed the earth. In the second half of today's lesson, I'll show you how to use the English expression named after, and we have a quote of the week. Let's dive in. A new species of dinosaur was officially classified and named the Australotitan cooperensis in a newly released paper in the scientific journal Peer.J. If its name is a mouthful, we can call this dinosaur by its nickname, Cooper, named after Cooper Creek near the town of Erromanga in the Australian state of Queensland, where the fossils were discovered. Cooper is the largest dinosaur species ever found in Australia, and it's one of the largest animals to have lived on the Earth. Based on its skeleton, scientists have confirmed Cooper was between 25 and 30 meters long, about the length of a basketball court, and 16 to 21 feet tall, about the size of a 2-story building. Its estimated weight was up to 81 tons. That's twice the weight of a fully loaded tractor-trailer truck. And that would make it one of the 15 largest dinosaurs ever discovered. Drawings released by the Queensland and Erromanga Natural History Museums show a creature with an extremely long, curved neck, a small head, a long tail, a strong middle, and 4 thick, trunk-like legs. Despite being so large, Cooper only ate plants when it was alive. Plus, it's the largest animal ever discovered in Australia and lived between 96 and 92 million years ago. The bones were discovered by 2 dinosaur researchers, Robin and Stuart Mackenzie, on their own property near the town of Erromanga. They have discovered previous species of dinosaurs on their property before, and they founded the Erromanga Natural History Museum. They were also heavily involved in the study of Cooper and the eventual classification that became Australotitan cooperensis. Though the fossils were discovered 14 years ago, the dinosaur was only officially described in a scientific journal this month. Describing and classifying a new species always takes time, but this one was especially difficult. The fossils were in an extremely remote location. Though they were largely intact, the fossils were delicate. It took years to prepare and clean them for study. And even then, scientists needed to make sure the fossils didn't belong to an already classified species of dinosaur. To do that, they had to compare the bones to all other species of bones that have been discovered on Earth, which was a painstaking process. However, modern technology certainly helped. Today's 3D scanning technology allows researchers to compare fossils against an international database of other species. Before the technology existed, they would have had to fly around the world and examine fossils of other species in person. One scientist said that the super high resolution scans are like having the real bone in your computer. Biologists classify living things into a 9-level classification system, where the highest point is all of life on Earth, and the lowest is the species. The classification just above the species is called the genus, and the official name of an animal is its genus, capitalized, and its species, not capitalized, and both are in Latin. So the new dinosaur's name is Australotitan cooperensis. The genus Australotitan means southern titan. For now, it has only one species, but that might change soon. The new dinosaur also has a cousin, which is likely to be another species in the Australotitan genus. That dinosaur has yet to be classified officially. Its nickname is George, and its skeleton is not as intact as Cooper's was, contributing to a delay in describing and naming it officially. Paleontologists noticed that Cooper's bones had been crushed, almost as if he had been trampled on after he died. He was found in an area where clay had been flattened and eventually solidified into rock. As a result, scientists think this was a heavily trafficked area where dinosaurs went to drink from a freshwater source. Large dinosaurs like Cooper have been found on every continent, but the very biggest dinosaurs ever discovered have all been found in South America and primarily in the Patagonia region. This discovery means that the largest dinosaurs were also present in other regions. Queensland, where Cooper was found, was still attached to Antarctica when Cooper lived. It was probably also attached to the southern tip of South America, meaning that the largest dinosaurs roamed an enormous landmass in the Earth's southern hemisphere. Because of this realization, scientists are now thinking of conducting focused discovery missions in Antarctica to see if they can find similar large dinosaur fossils. A few things. First of all, it sounded to me like an amazing coincidence that the bones were discovered by two dinosaur researchers on their own farm. I mean, what are the chances that dinosaur bones would be on the property of a dinosaur researcher? But I looked at the aerial image of Eromanga on Google Maps, and it looks like what I imagine the surface of Mars looks like. So I quickly realized that the reason dinosaur researchers own land in this area is that it's likely to contain dinosaur fossils. It's not like they were planting tomatoes and squash in a normal residential area and happened upon dinosaur bones. But these two researchers, having found dinosaur bones in the area before, they founded a natural history museum right there in this tiny town, and they took a leading role in describing and classifying this new species. That's pretty cool. Second thing, 96 million years ago, bones were preserved for that long. I am just in awe at A, how scientists can know something is so old, and B, how they can preserve, clean, and assemble bones that are so old. It's absolutely incredible. Today's expression is named after. What does it mean to be named after someone or something? Well, this is how we describe where you got your name, or more specifically, how and why your parents selected your name. And this is the rule. To use named after, there must be a specific person, place, or event that inspires the name. Keep that in mind as we go through the examples. To be named after someone or something, there must be some meaning in the name. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are in the news again because they had a baby daughter. The daughter's name is Lilibet, and she is named after her great-grandmother, the Queen of England. The great-grandmother's name is Elizabeth, but her private nickname is Lilibet. The new baby's name is Lilibet, so we can say Meghan and Harry's new daughter is named after Queen Elizabeth. She is also named after her grandmother. Well, how can that be true, you might ask? Well, Lilibet's middle name is Diana. Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor is her full name. So she's named after the Queen and the late Princess Diana. In that way, a person can be named after two people. Now, it wouldn't be a story about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex if there wasn't a little family controversy. Lilibet is the Queen's fairly private nickname used only by her inner circle. And there are rumors which everyone denies, that the Queen was not consulted before her private nickname was given officially to Harry and Meghan's daughter. I'll stay out of that family drama. It's common to name kids after family members. That would be the most common inspiration of names for children. But some parents name their kids after their idols or heroes. The first black baseball player in the major leagues was called Jackie Robinson. Today, Robinson Cano is the second baseman for the Seattle Mariners. He was named after Jackie Robinson. There are a lot of similar examples. Mariah Carey's daughter is named Monroe. She's named after Marilyn Monroe, the actress who Carey admired. Some people's names, their first names, are just a name that their parents liked. In that case, they're not named after anyone. I, for example, am not named after anyone. Jeff, Jeffrey, this was just a name my parents liked, and that's what I got. I'm going to pause here and give you an example where you cannot use named after. A popular baby name these days is Brooklyn, which is also the name of part of New York City. We talked about it in lesson 236. But most babies named Brooklyn are not given that name because their parents have a particular affection for Brooklyn, New York. They get the name because it's a popular name. So most of the little Brooklyns running around are not named after a part of New York. They were just given that name. If you find a person has an unusual name, you might ask him or her, were you named after anyone special? And that person may reply, yes, I was named after my grandmother. Or, nope, I wasn't named after anyone. My parents just liked the name. Well, now let's talk about another way to use named after, and that's pets. You have a little more license with pets, a little more freedom than you have with naming a child. You can't ruin a pet's life by naming him after something embarrassing. There is a famous comet called Halley's Comet. It's visible on Earth every 75 or 76 years and was last seen in 1986. Prior to that, it was visible in 1910 and 1835. Its appearances have been recorded by humans dating back to the year 141 AD in China. Some people think it was recorded on Earth even earlier than that, but we can't be certain. Well, one of my family pets was born in 1986, and my parents named her Halley after the famous comet that appeared in the year of her birth. She was named after the comet. So do you remember, then, how you heard it in today's lesson? A pair of dinosaur researchers found fossils on their property. They suspected it was a new species but they weren't sure. So they gave the dinosaur a nickname, Cooper. They named it after Cooper Creek, which was a creek, really a small river, near where he was found. The scientists could have named it anything they wanted. This was just an informal name while they examined the fossils more closely. Did you know that the city of New York is named after the Duke of York? Dutch settlers in the area named it New Amsterdam after the capital of the Netherlands. Then England seized the land in 1664 and named it after the Duke of York, and so now we have New York. Chicago is a Native American word that means garlic. Our city was named after the most common plant growing nearby when the area was settled. The city of Houston was named after a famous general, Sam Houston, who fought for the Republic of Texas before it became part of the United States. Here's another disputed quote. A lot of my quotes lately have been disputed, meaning we don't know exactly who said them first. This quote has been attributed to many people. We'll officially say it's from Albert Einstein, although when he used it, he was quoting someone else. He just didn't say who. But since he was the first to commit it to writing, we'll say it belongs to Einstein. Here's the quote. Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything he learned in school. So this quote draws a distinction between the very practical things you learn in school versus the wisdom and experience you come away with from everyday life. Meaning that wisdom and experience can come from school or from what I like to call the school of life. But education, according to this quote, is not simply facts or very narrow skills, but something you acquire over the years that runs deeper. So listen one more time. Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything he learned in school. And we'll give that to Albert Einstein. And that's all for today, Monday, June 28th, 2021. Thanks so much for making plain English a part of your English learning. For more on this lesson, visit plainenglish.com/376. Before we go, I wanted to let you know about one feature in Plain English Plus that I don't talk about too often. On our website, we have lots of places where you can practice writing your own examples. So on the page for named after, for example, Plus members can go to the bottom of the page and write their own examples. And I read every single example, and I provide feedback or little suggestions to help you improve. And that goes for all our expressions and how-to videos. So if you ever find yourself thinking you're learning a lot of great new expressions, but you're worried that you won't remember them, or you're not quite sure how to use it yourself, get into Plain English Plus and start practicing right on our pages, and I will personally look and give you tips. And that's just one of the great ways Plain English Plus can help you upgrade your English. To join, visit plainenglish.com/plus, plainenglish.com/plus.